So let's talk 30th anniversary and one of the biggest problems that this will face. I'm going to do a kind of little review on everything else, but I'm going to get into the initial problem just so if anyone wants to hear that according to the title of this video, you can then click away if you wish to after. But if you don't wish to and you want to stick around, hit the like button, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Follow me on Twitter, link in the top right hand corner and in the video description. But first and foremost, before we get into the problem, look at how badass, look at how amazing this fucking warlock looks, eh? Hey, look at it, look at it, look at it. This ornament for the Phoenix protocol is absolutely insane. And we'll get into that in a little while. And also, Eyes Luna, Matador, GJALLARHORN. Oh my god, it's Destiny 1. Right, biggest problem. So we roll over to Eternity and we see the grasp of AVARICE dungeon. Recommended power 1310. That's important. We're going to get into why. Click into it and then we got Legend and Master. Master gives you Artifice armor, which Legend gives you just whatever you get from the chests. The problem is matchmaking. Matchmaking off. Absolutely just abysmal decision, in my opinion, from Bungie. This should have matchmaking on. The dungeon is not that difficult. You don't need to go and find a fire team to beat it. You can beat it with... I did it as a two-man with our first run, first look at it. I've heard other people just doing it in one or two other people with no mics and still did it. There just is no reason not to have matchmaking on. But why is this important? Well, when I was streaming yesterday and I was doing the dungeon as a two-man, took about 2 hours. Every single comment I got in my chat, and I mean pretty much every single comment other than my regulars, how'd you get thorn armor? 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 Now, the answer to that question is from the dungeon. Here's the problem, and it really annoys me. Dungeon's not that difficult. Armor's incredible. Put matchmaking on and let people have an actual real chance of getting this who aren't in clans, who, you know, people who play solo have a chance of getting this badass looking armor. And the most annoying thing about this for me is the simple fact that this is supposed to be a celebration of the 30th anniversary, bringing guns like Halo guns into Destiny, the community that they built with Halo, the community that they built with Destiny. Why not allow that community to fully realize the dungeon just by having matchmaking turned on for the 1310 power level one? It's not even like it's a 1330. Most people are beyond the 1310 threshold, so why not just let people matchmake? It's so frustrating when they do stuff like this. It's like, oh, here's all this brand new amazing stuff, let us pimp this out in trailers and, you know, pre-footage to when it comes out. Everyone get excited for this, but no, if you're a solo player and you don't get into groups or you don't use toxic matchmaking systems, you can't get this armor. It's so infuriating, and I just don't understand why they just keep doing this. Why not just let people have a chance of getting it by putting matchmaking on for a dungeon? Jesus fucking Christ. That being said, let's talk about everything else in a short period of time, hopefully. Eyes Luna, Matador 64, other old weapons coming back are incredible. The Matador is going to be a problem though. Look at the range on that bad boy. I don't really have that great of a perk system set up here, but you know, I mean, the range just speaks for itself. I don't think you need great perks. Absolutely going to ruin Crucible. I'm predicting it now, but it's an amazing gun. Then we got the Eyes Luna, a 140 stasis hand cannon. Couldn't ask for anything better. Again, I really got a shit roll, but I'm wanting to try this out because it could be semi decent. But it looks amazing. It's the Eyes Luna. It's incredible. I'm happy that it's back. And then, you know, we have the Pulse Carbine Halo weapon. Again, don't really have very good weapons. I didn't particularly enjoy using this weapon. Maybe I just didn't have a good enough perk set up, but I don't think it's that good of a weapon. Looks fucking incredible though. Then we have the sidearm Forerunner. Now, I've seen people really talk this up and talk about how incredible it is. Obviously, it's a Halo pistol. I don't particularly like it. It doesn't feel nice to fire for me personally, so I probably won't use this much, but it is an incredibly cool looking weapon. Right, the BXR-55 Battler. Now, I kept this one because it's got Adrenaline Junkie on, and I'm looking forward to that buff to it. I got a stability roll, ricochet round, snapshot sights. It's, you know, you don't even need snapshot sights because you can hip fire this bad boy. It's not the best perk setup, but it's probably the best gun that I got running through all the things that come with this 30th anniversary. I love this weapon. I think it's incredible. The hip fire on it feels quite familiar to the Halo BR, but it's also a Destiny gun, so it kind of fits there too. Absolutely just just an incredible addition to the game, and the aim down sight on both this and the Forerunner is pretty damn cool. And then we go with the big daddy of them all, the GJALLARHORN. Actually, first and foremost, the sword. I forgot I even picked this up. This is half of the energy sword from Halo. Absolutely looks phenomenal, and I've heard that if you get the right roll on this, you can sword fly again, so you know that's going to be a thing. GJALLARHORN looks incredible. Cannot wait to kind of use it more in various situations. In the new event, the 6-man event, I was one-hitting with this thing on champions and stuff, so pretty powerful, but I feel like it could be quite lackluster when it comes to big bosses with chunky health. However, the perk on this thing is utterly disgusting, the Pack Hunter. Firing this weapon also grants Wolfpack rounds to nearby allies wielding non-exotic rocket launchers. So if someone has a Heathen Vengeance with Vorpal weapon and, I don't know, Cluster Bomb or something, you know, something like that, but Vorpal weapon specifically, they're going to be doing chunks of damage that we know these rockets can be quite good at killing bosses. But then you're also able to give them Wolfpack rounds on top of that. Absolutely just disgustingly overpowered in my opinion. I think you're going to see videos coming out from various content creators where they just annihilate bosses. However, it's fun, and that's all this gun should ever be, is fun, and it feels nice to have back. It feels like it's not as overpowered as the original Destiny, but it feels good enough to be in Destiny 2, so I'm happy to have it. It's probably the first kind of like DPS weapon I've ever had in Destiny 2, so I'm excited. Right, some of the main parts of the content. First and foremost, we're going to look at Xur's Treasure Hoard. I love this. It's got a very Prison of Elders feeling to the treasure room. It's just an incredible use of a character. It's an incredible use of spaces. The 6-man event is incredible, which I'll talk about in a second. But, you know, typical kind of seasonal bounty type of situation here. You just level up your Strange Favor. You get all these things for leveling him up, and then you can extra have these triumph rewards, so you go in, do all the triumphs that are required, and then you can unlock these things like the GJALLARHORN ornament, for instance. Badass ornament, makes me want to try and get it, but this requires quite a lot. But anyway, you know, there's a lot of things to get, which is pretty damn awesome, which I'm very excited because well, I've been excited the past season, but it's been a long time since I've been this excited about doing something in Destiny. You know, typical bounty stuff. But then there's also Horsey over here, Darhorse, which, you know, everyone was excited about with the trailer. He has his own bounties, or she, or they, you know, not here to assume. And with these bounties, you get XP and the Paraversal Haul, which just gives you basically a whole bunch of things. You know, it could have exotic gear, legendary strange coins, treasure keys. You can buy them separately for 7 strange coins. Strange coins you get just from completing endgame activities, so you can get it in Crucible or Gambit, blah, 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 or the 6-man event, etc. So for this one, like, I'd have to get a certain amount of melee kills, I'd have to get a certain amount of kinetic weapon kills, and get 180,000 points throughout the entire run of the 6-man event. I can't remember what it's called. Days of Eternity or something. Most of the time I get over 200,000 points, so fairly easy most of them, but then you get stuff like this is just 300,000, and I'm assuming with that you'd probably need to do it on the Legend or Master or whatever it's called. But you know, there's more variety here in what you can do. Treasure keys and stuff, they're used for like these chests around the thing. You can get, like, you know, use one treasure key and get a weapon mod, which is not that great. But you know, here you use 5 treasure keys, but you need to be Strange Favor rank 7 to get a piece of armor, a chest armor, and then you got all the armors around here, and then over here you've got like more armors and stuff, and then you got all over here more armors and stuff. I don't know what the difference is. I'm assuming it's like maybe like intellect. I don't know what the difference is, but you know, there's a lot of choice here for you to choose once you get up your Strange Favor and stuff. So there's a reason to grind the game, there's a reason to play the game, and the 6-man event that's tied to this is pretty fucking awesome. So let's talk about it. So the way I see this event is kind of like a game show that Xur's putting you in, and I think that's kind of like the aesthetic and kind of concept they're going for, and it is incredibly fun. Like, every single time you go into it, you get to like choose, quote unquote, choose your enemies that you fight against by spinning the wheel. Then you have to do a bunch of, you know, normal Destiny kind of clear rooms, clear ads, do a specific mechanic, and then you move on. There's, you know, interesting puzzles that you need to solve, jumping puzzles, and there's different routes to take as well, and it's just fun. It's just a fun event from top to bottom. You know, having old enemies come back like Valus Tarak, who's got a chunky amount of health, you know, is a nice callback to Destiny 1. You know, it's just very, very, very Destiny-like, which is weird to say because obviously it's Destiny like because we're playing Destiny, but it's the best version of Destiny for me. The 6v6 event actually makes me want to play it. Battlegrounds sucked. I can't even remember what came after Battlegrounds because it wasn't that great. So the fact that they have something that's engaging, interesting, fun, a little bit different but still Destiny based, with some pretty good rewards as well, with like the battle rifle and you know the Halo based weapons. You know, there's a reason to play it, there's a reason to grind it, you know, get good rolls and stuff. It's not difficult, it's fun. It's just an incredible addition to the game, and I really love it when Bungie are on point with stuff like this, because it just makes me excited for the game's future, especially with Witch Queen, because Witch Queen just looks like they're changing the game. You know, they're going from typical Destiny stuff and really tweaking it and moving it to a whole new level. So stuff like this is like a good indicator as to what's to come, and I'd be more than happy to see stuff like this that we're seeing with the 30th anniversary be expanded on in the Witch Queen, while also having new DLC for the Witch Queen. You know, it's like it's just a phenomenal thing for them to add. It's just fun, it's interesting. You know, there's lots of different enemy types, there's lots of different bosses. It's just a fun experience, and I can't stress that enough. But let's get on to the main chunk of what this DLC is about, and that's the dungeon. I'm not going to play any footage because I uploaded a 2-hour 2-man dungeon yesterday, so if you want to see the dungeon or anything to do with the dungeon, because I don't really want to spoil it here for people who haven't seen it, you can check out that video. It was uploaded yesterday. So I'm going to keep the footage going on in the background from the 6-man event, and I'm going to talk about the dungeon very shortly. Now again, I'm going to try to kind of talk about this without any spoilers, because I know there's some people who haven't seen or played the dungeon yet and don't really want to know about it. The fun elements towards the beginning of this dungeon is incredible. It was just so fun to play and explore and have things happen that, you know, you can't really control, and that's kind of all I can really say. And figuring out how to get through those experiences, it was just incredibly fun, and it just didn't feel serious. It didn't feel like, you know, I had to be the best player in the world. It didn't feel like I had to, you know, just sweat my ass off to go and complete the dungeon. It was just, okay, chill, relax, take it at my own pace, and that's kind of what I want from Destiny now. Back in the day, I would have loved that sweaty stuff, but now it's just I want to have fun. I want to, you know, just chill and just have fun, and that's all I've had since I've put this in. I will say though, I've pretty much done everything apart from grind god rolls in one day, so it's not the longest addition to the game, because it feels like, you know, apart from grinding, it's pretty much done in one day, and it costs £30, so that's a whole other question and video, I guess. But all throughout the dungeon, there's one specific mechanic. I don't really want to spoil this, but I kind of have to talk about it, where you have to basically pick up engrams and deposit them into a crystal. Now, we're used to those kinds of mechanics, but this is a nice little twist on it. You know, it makes it more interesting, makes it more engaging. So I'm very happy that they introduced a semi-new mechanic into this dungeon. It's fluent throughout the entire dungeon from start to finish. The bosses are fun, the bosses are interesting, the kind of aesthetic and rooms that the bosses are in are really cool as well. But they are typical Destiny bosses. You know, you get them to a phase, you damage them. You know, if you've got enough DPS, you could probably 1 or 2 phase it. You know, it's typical Destiny stuff in that vein, but it is interesting, it's engaging, it's fun. I'm very impressed with what they've done with this dungeon. I'm happy to play it more often, even without matchmaking, if I can struggle to get a team together. However, matchmaking should be a goddamn thing for that dungeon. But yeah, I don't really want to say too much about the dungeon. However, I did enjoy it. It took a 2-man team for their first try, 2 hours, and we didn't have any DPS weapons. We didn't have 1k voices. We didn't have anything set up to do the most damage. One was on a hunter, I was on my well, so we didn't really rely too much on super damage, you know, like celestial and stuff like that. It was just literally us two playing, and it took us 2 hours. So it's not the longest dungeon, it's not the most challenging dungeon, but it is interesting and fun, much like everything in this 30th anniversary is. It's interesting and it's fun, and that's kind of the best review I can give them. Is it worth the money? Right now, on the content that I've seen and how much I've played, for the money that it costs, no, I don't think it is. However, we don't know what's to further come with this 30th anniversary right now. There might be extra things that they throw in, I don't know. But for the most part, I think it's I think it's a fine DLC when it comes to money. But other than that, outside of the cost, I think it's an incredibly fun and engaging addition to the game. So let me know what you think down below in the comments section and all that good stuff. Thank you for watching. I've been easynow. You guys have been awesome.